What's up, everybody? My name is Godzi, and welcome back to another episode of Umineko When They Cry Answers Arc. Last episode, we finished Chapter 7, and Clair was laid to rest by Will after he figured out everything, or displayed his understanding of the first 4 games, which, again, she didn't freaking go into the depths of Natsuhi in the first game, or George or Nanjo in the third, so it wasn't everything, but it was damn well most of it. Anyways, I asked the last episode, how long are the tea parties? Because I'd like to know, just so I don't record too little if the second tea party is super short, which it seems like it. The first one can take upwards of 4 hours, and the second one is like 10 to 20 minutes. So, yep, it's just as I feared. So another thing I'd like to say before I just jump straight into it is if the audio quality of this episode seems fuzzy at all, it's because my air conditioner's on. I'm gonna be sitting here for like 4 hours reading. I'd rather not burn to death. It's been 90 the past 2 days, so yeah, sorry about that. I did a test recording. It shouldn't be loud, how it might not even be audible, and I'm probably just worrying for nothing. But either way, let's jump straight into this. Waboom. Wondering what the hell's gonna happen. I mean, it's not gonna be something happy. You guys wouldn't just be like, oh, the tea party's awesome, if it was just people frolicking in a field, holding hands, laughing, you know. Some shit's about to go down. When I came to, all was silent. The room was dimly lit, and yet it was massive. Where on earth is this? Oh, the theater. I was sitting in what seemed to be a very short sofa. It was very constricting, and looked like there were several more of them off to each side of me. Once I noticed that, I realized that I was in a theater. Oh, it's Leon, okay. Where on earth am I? I don't know how long I've been here, and more importantly, I don't know where this is. Beatrice's funeral ended. Everyone went back to the mansion, and after that, my memory gets fuzzy, and I can't recall anything else. Shit went down! Then I was surprised to notice the presence of another person. Apparently, I wasn't the only one sitting in the audience seating of this vast theater. The sound had come from a seat to the side of mine. When I looked, I saw a girl sitting several seats off to my left. It was a face I had never seen before. Who is she? She looked like a high schooler or a college student, about the same age as I was. She groaned. Apparently she had just woken up. I didn't want to scare her, so I decided to introduce myself first. Hello. Oh, Angie. Heck are you doing here? Apparently, she was equally surprised to find someone other than herself here. She jumped when she heard my greeting. Who the hell are you? I feel the same way. Seems that neither of us is here of our own accord. Is that the one-winged crest? Huh? Do you recognize this crest? She has the same freaking one, cool it. Well, it's not the exact same, but it's super duper similar. She looked suspiciously at the one-winged crest emblazoned on my collar. Her stare, which was unmoving but not openly hostile, wasn't exactly pleasant for me. Allow me to introduce myself first. I am Ushiromiya Leon. Ushiromiya, What? Leon. Written as that, but pronounced Leon. Pretty strange name, don't you think? No stranger than mine, but I'll have to apologize. I don't know who you are. That's hardly surprising, since I don't know you either. That's not what I meant. Who are you? There's no one like you in the Ushiromiya family. And why are you so sure? Do you have something to do with my family? I'm a member of the Ushiromiya family. But that's... She showed me her left sleeve and the crest of the one-winged eagle emblazoned upon it. I regret having to ask the same question, but who are you? I've never seen you in the Ushiromiya family. First they tear me into little bits, then they make me read. What's next? Which am I supposed to be entertaining this time? She spat out those words and seemed to be complaining about something. Angie. I'm Ushiromiya Angie, Rudolph and Kyrie's daughter. What? Angie? But you're supposed to be 6 years old. I was 6 during the year of the final family conference on Rokanjima. Now I get it. So you're a person from the year 1986. I'm 18 years old, and I'm from the year 1998. In other words, you're the Angie of 12 years in the future. I'm glad you believe it, but unfortunately I don't have a clue who you are. Who are you? Who are your parents? My father is Kraus. Natsuhi is my mother. That would make you Jessica. Jessica is my little sister. Oh yeah, also it's thundering, so prepare to hear that. And my brother's supposed to get picked up soon, so my dog's gonna be barking. It's a sound quality mess today at the Godzi studios. What's going on? Wasn't Jessica an only child? By this point, I was starting to figure out the situation this Angie had come from. She's probably from the world where I awakened as a witch, the world where Leon doesn't exist. It'll be a bit difficult to explain, but think of it this way. In a world slightly different from the one you know, I am also a member of the Ushiromiya family. In your world, a different fate leads me to walk a different path through life, so that I do not live as an Ushiromiya family member. Are you a witch? Sorry to disappoint you, but I'm just an ordinary human. What I just told you is something I heard from the witch called Berncastle. Berncastle? That one with the long blue hair and the gloomy face? Yes. That probably fits her, I think. In other words, I've been forced to play along with another witch's farce. Just where is this place? I only woke up a second ago myself. I'm wondering the same thing. It looks like a theater. Are we supposed to watch a play or something? I'm really not in the mood now. Let's look for an exit. You haven't noticed yet? Look. Huh? Ah, these are... Oh. Clank. I finally noticed. Both of my wrists and ankles had chains attached to them. As long as I sat here, I had enough slack that I could move about a little, but it looked like there wouldn't be nearly enough for me to get out of this place. Who would do something like this? Once a witch has made you her... Angie's voice, I can't remember how to do it because she didn't have a consistent one. Once a witch has made you her piece, you'll be their plaything forever. There's no way to escape. Angie crossed her legs, making the chains clank together. She realized that no amount of struggling could have broken those chains. Getting panicky wouldn't accomplish anything. She must have had nerves of steel. What do you mean, a witch's piece? It's like being their slave. I made a deal, once. I said I wanted to see my family, to bring them back from that day. In exchange for making that a possibility, that witch turned me into a witch's piece. At least the witch kept her promise. I was able to see Battler again. You mean Battler? Yes, I mean Battler. I said Battler, even though that's not how it was written. Well, I wasn't even able to tell him who I was. And in exchange for that short bit of time, I'm now trapped inside the witch's toy box for all eternity. Looks like you are too. Did you make some sort of contract? Nothing of the sort. Did you ever ask a witch to grant a wish for you? Never. She taught me what a miracle my existence is, that's all. Either way, neither of us is getting out of here. Okay, witches. What kind of show do you have for us this time? Have we moved from reading aloud to theater going? Am I supposed to watch someone else read aloud this time, or what? If that's it, then start it up already. I'm bored enough as it is. Angie yelled this to the pitch-black stage. Her voice reverberated throughout the theater, but no one gave an answer. No, someone did. And that was also in a voice that rang out across the theater. However, that voice sounded theatrical, as though someone was announcing the start of a play. It's either Berncastle or Featherin. What happened on that day, you ask? I'm not telling. If only you just give up and die. Nope, far from who I thought it would be. Fucking Eva Beatrice? Whose voice was that? That old hag. It was Aunt Eva's voice. What does she mean by what happened on that day? She's talking about the 4th and 5th of October in the year 1986. The day of the final family conference on Rokanjima. In other words, today. Today is October 4th, 1986. Okay, so the funeral is on the same day. Okay. As a prelude to the family conference, Beatrice's funeral was held. So why didn't Battler go back to the island on that day specifically? Just, like, the only difference is Leon in this one and Shannon Can and Beatrice Yasu in the other one. That's a surprise. So you've come here from October 4th, 1986? Tell me, what happened during those 2 days? The answer she seeks is inside the cat box. All I can tell her about is my close call with a sad life. However, I doubt that explanation will satisfy her. Then, a pillar of bright light pierced the stage. Hi, Claire. I thought you were done. There stood a white shadow. That white dress was obviously Claire's. Of course, Angie didn't recognize her. She looked suspicious, apparently wondering who in the world this was. However, even I felt as though something was wrong. Didn't she settle all of her regrets in that funeral a short while ago before being sent off into the next world? She stood all alone in the narrow beam of light in the center of the stage, and the expression on her face was lifeless. The light began to grow brighter and brighter. It shone more and more fiercely on her until it became blinding just to look at her. The world was enveloped by a light so bright that we couldn't open our eyes. Surrounded by a sound like wind or television static, and our minds began to go blank. Okay. Now we're here. Woo! They're blooming wonderfully again this year. Must be a pain to take care of all these. What a pain. Pretty easy for us, though, just looking at them. I agree. We've got to thank the people who take care of them for us. But it is a bit lacking in grace. I prefer the way it used to be before Kraus decided to pile so much on. The old look did have its own charm, didn't it?
I love roses. I'd like them even more if they didn't have thorns.
Okay, he is here? I thought he wasn't. Boy. And apparently this is a magical perspective. Why is he here then? I did not click that, no. Whoa, this rose garden really takes me back. I totally forgotten about it these past 6 years. I guess it really has been that long. Both of you and this garden have changed so much. And there's Cannon. Cannon and Battler shouldn't be here. Oh, let me introduce you. This is Cannon, one of our servants. This is the first time you've met Battler, right? Pleased to meet you. It isn't the first time he's met him, actually. Interesting, huh? You can just call me Battler. Nice to meet you. Shannon's here too, today. Remember when we used to play together? Ah, Shannon. I'd totally forgotten. That really takes me back. How's she been doing? Not sure who's speaking. I'll just say George, because George would probably love to talk about Shannon. She's grown more and more beautiful these past 6 years. You should say hi to her later on. That was probably actually Jessica.
Shannon and George are really good friends. Ew.
Maria, shh. That's a secret. If you would, everyone, allow me to guide you to the guest house. After enjoying the lovely welcome provided by the roses, the relatives followed Goda in the direction of the guest house. This is not something that should be happening, unless this isn't in the perspective of Chapter 7, I suppose. October 4th, 1986, Rokanjima. In a world without Leon. Okay. On the day of the Ushiromiya family conference. Maria read a mysterious letter aloud after dinner, just as she had been told to. The writer of the letter claimed to be the Golden Witch Beatrice and challenged the family. Try and solve the riddle of the epitaph. Otherwise, I will take everything. It was Beatrice's announcement of the game's start, the same as the usual games. Had an unknown person appeared, related to the problem of the inheritance's distribution? Where was the 20 billion yen worth of gold hidden? What was the purpose of this letter? For what goal had it been written? Who on earth is this Beatrice? It was the usual dinner on October 4th, where several bits of suspicion and paranoia intertwined. George, I'm sorry, but could you go to the guest house with the others? My apologies. Shannon, take the children to the guest house. We'll move straight on to the family conference. Why is Rosa all of a sudden just being like, George specifically?
Yes, as you wish.
Beatrice, the Golden Witch. What a fascinating letter you've sent us. She's telling us to solve the epitaph. Ridiculous. That gold belongs to us. Why do we ever give it up to some outsider? If we could just find that gold, we'd all be happy. No one would have to lose anything. Let's go, everyone. We'll be having an adult conversation from here on out. Sheesh. Sounds like it's gonna get complicated.
Come on, Maria, let's go. Battle's ceremony has begun. Okay, everyone, I shall guide you to the guest house.
Wondering what the purpose of this scene is. What's all this about? Probably a replay of one of the old games, or else an entirely new game. In all the games, October 4th happens in pretty much the same way. A new game? You mean a tale that hasn't appeared in any of the fragments so far? Is this why it's so fucking long? It's just another game? There's no way they'd go to the trouble of chaining us down if they just wanted to show us a game we already know. It's probably a new game. That means there should be a game master. Who is it? That witch? Burncastle? I can't imagine so. Clair should have vanished already. There should be no need to spin up a new tale. Batto's game board was hijacked by those evil witches long ago. Even Batto is nothing more than a piece in their games. Just who is behind this? And what are they after? What do they want to show us? Before this tale began, Clair definitely appeared on the stage. She is the teller of the tale of Beatrice's game. Beatrice, the me from a world of a different fate. However, didn't she entrust everything to Will, who solved all of the riddles? There should be no need for her to make new riddles. In that case, is Burncastle using this tale to test me? Along with Will, I have at least touched the deepest depths of this tale and understood the culprit's heart. So even if an entirely new tale presents itself, I should be able to see through the riddles. Is that what my role is? Is my role to teach Angie about the truth of this tale? Do you know? Do you know the truth of this tale? I have several theories. Still, none of those can give a conclusive answer. The truth is always inside the cat box. I can't say anything for sure. In this world, Angie is absent on this day, so it's only natural that she doesn't know what happened. However, at the very least, I do know who the culprit is, and what they were trying to do on this day. I think I finally understood my role in this. What do you mean? Apparently, you're here as a theater goer, and I'm here as a commentator. Then as a commentator, what exactly is it you're going to explain for me? After all, I know who's behind the crime that's about to occur. What did you say? Thinking about it straightforwardly, the only explanation I see is that someone's trying to make us solve the epitaph, hoping to then snatch the gold for themselves. I agree. If they'd already solved it, they could just take it. There'd be no need to challenge us to solve the riddle. Yeah, they've already solved it. It's a prank by one of the servants. They must be hoping to pick up the scraps from the celebration if the gold is found. Natsuhi? I cannot imagine that any of our servants would do such a thing. Or maybe one of us sent the letter, pretending to be a servant. If that's it, you're the most suspicious one. You schooled Maria on her part and made her read the letter, didn't you? I wouldn't do that. Give that a rest, Eva. We can't jump to conclusions. Isn't this the time for us all to stick together? That's right. The aim of the strange letter is probably to disrupt our unity. The more we let it affect us, the more things will go the way of this Beatrice who sent it. Oh, that was Kyrie. I'm stupid. I can't tell, because it's like you don't write who's speaking. Kyrie's right. Wouldn't it be best to simply ignore a letter like that from the start? And that was Hideyoshi. Oops. Obviously, that was Kraus talking. I mean, my voice was Hideyoshi. This is what I've been saying this whole time. This sort of prank is not worth considering. Yes, that's it exactly. If a couple improbable This is Hideyoshi, damn it. Yes, that's it exactly. If a couple improbable claims for damages gets you flustered, you'll never be able to sell anything. My husband's right. This is a child's prank, and taking it seriously is just a waste of time. If someone really wanted to shake up the inheritance issue, they'd come forward boldly instead of using something this roundabout. You've got it right there. Someone probably wants to make us think there's another person trying to make demands about the inheritance, when their real goal is just to pick up the scraps. I wonder if they'll ask for some hush money in exchange for staying out of the inheritance issue. If that were the case, they should have written it into the letter. And the letter is just a challenge, telling us to try solving the epitaph or else hand over everything. The culprit is trying to make us solve the epitaph's riddle. Nothing more, nothing less. So it's simple. If we worry about this letter, we lose. Indeed, I agree. After that big mysterious show, like something out of a mystery novel, we've all gotten a bit too wrapped up in this. It seems we're all taking this too seriously. But who did it? Such an aggravating thing to do. If it wasn't a servant, then one of us must have written it. I'm not naming names, of course. Stop it. I really know nothing about this. Settle down. Anyway, what this letter says does make a bit of sense. All of us need money, and if possible, we need it right away. No one here has any objections to that, right? Of course not. Whether it's money or love, you can never have too much. We don't know when Father's inheritance will come to us. However, the goal of the epitaph is different. If we find it, we could just split it then and there. In a sense, it's even closer to us now than the inheritance is. Assuming we can solve the epitaph. Everyone here has tried solving it on their own, yes? Kyrie asked the room at large, and everyone wordlessly nodded back. Here, we have 4 people who have inherited the blood of the one who made that riddle, and each has tried solving it on their own. That doesn't sound very efficient, does it? True. We've all been greedy and tried to go it alone. However, we've already reached a decision about how we'll split the gold up if it's found, and about acknowledging Bro as the successor. Though you demanded quite a lot in exchange. I wonder if we can solve that epitaph if we pool our efforts and work together. 2 heads are better than 1, and here we have 7. 1 for each deadly sin. Today, we reached a general agreement about the inheritance problem. Why not take a shot at the epitaph for a bit of fun on the side? Nice idea. Let's give it a try and call it a break. Ridiculous. Of course there's no hidden gold. Take it easy. Just think of it as a game. This is probably Kraus. Take it easy. Just think of it as a game. Let's have Goda bring us something cool to drink. We can take a break and all play with riddles as a big happy bunch of siblings for once. Well, the night is long. That was a big flash. It would at least be more productive than pointless inquiries into Father's health. I'll ring up Goda. He can bring us something. Fuck, man. That was loud. Let's have tea and sweets. Oh, and a map of Taiwan. She already knows about Taiwan? Really? Did she always know about Taiwan? Or did they all always know about Taiwan? 2 shadows could be seen in the Rose Garden Arbor. It was George and Shannon's secret meeting. I want you to take this ring. George! I swear to love you all my life. Not just now, while we're young, I swear to love you and keep you happy until we get old and go to our graves.
And are there any lies or exaggerations in your words?
No, not one. I'm confident in my resolve to love you and build a happy household together with you.
And what would this happy household be like?
Well, it will be full of happiness. We'll have a house with a car and a yard. Great. And one dog. The yard will have a vegetable garden. The kids will run around and we'll smile down on them from the balcony. That's what our typical future Sunday will look like.
That would be wonderful.
I don't know if my dog's barking at the lightning or if my brother's getting picked up now. Probably both. What? Those two are going out?
Shh! Why are you so damn loud? Maria will wake up.
I see. So that's how it is. Now that you mention it, they seem to have a pretty good mood going on there. That's right, we're about the age where you fall in love.
We've changed a lot in the last 6 years. George used to be a bit unreliable, but he isn't anymore.
That's what I thought. And there's another flash. George has got that air of dignity thing going. But still, Shannon and George. That's a bit unexpected. They played together often enough 6 years ago, but I didn't think they were that close. Well, 6 years is a long time.
These 6 years have been huge for all of us.
Yep. A lot's happened to me these 6 years. And to be honest, I've forgotten almost everything about Rokkanjima.
And I'd forgotten almost everything about you, too.
Now that really hurts. Talking together like this, it felt as though we'd been teleported 6 years into the past. 6 long years, so long that I almost forgot everything. And yet, it's coming back to me, bit by bit. Shannon, 6 years ago, you were part of our group, and we played together a lot, didn't we? Back then, I think I might have liked Shannon. That was the age when we were all overly self-conscious and in love with love. Okay. Bittersweet memories of jokes involving melodramatic, flippant words. That takes me back. I think I remember saying all kinds of stuff that I'd be way too embarrassed to say now. God, just remembering it is making my face go red.
Shannon might be a scatterbrain, but her memory's incredible. Guess I'll just have to ask her all about your dark, embarrassing history.
Quit it. That was 6 years ago. The statute of limitations has gotta be up. I see. So Shannon is going out with George. What am I thinking? Could this be jealousy? I didn't really think about it until now, but that thing Shannon and I had back then was probably my first love. Well, it's not like I have any right to be jealous after forgetting the whole thing until we met again. Everyone knows that Dad's hometown was Taisho in Taiwan. He still chews areca nuts from time to time in memory of that place. Apparently, he got hooked on that instead of smoking when he was young. But there must be several rivers with sweetfish swimming in them. It has several mountain streams that are famous sweetfish fishing spots. Anyway, you could probably find sweetfish living anywhere the water was clean. We're completely stuck. Maybe it was just some nearby creek Father played in as a kid. He said sweetfish, but maybe we're looking for something more like carp. Or it could be some sort of metaphor. The river isn't necessarily a river with water flowing through it. What do you mean by that? Okay, that was Kyrie. I figured it probably was when I finished reading the line. It was probably Kyrie then Eva.
Oh no. Who knows?
Kyrie has a point there. Isn't it a bit too early to be sure that Taiwan is this homeland, or that the Sweetfish River is a river with water flowing down it? Taiwan's right. And, the river being a river is wrong. If we look at it that way, we're just stuck again. The more you think about this riddle, the harder it gets. That's it. This is just a riddle. Kyrie is right. We need to be flexible in our thinking. If we're looking for a river near Taisho, that would have to be Donshui River. Are you even listening? We just said that it might not be the kind of river with water flowing down it.
Is there any proof that this river is a sweetfish river? You're right. I'm sorry.
Well, it probably did have sweetfish in it. After all, Danshui does mean freshwater. Makes sense that a freshwater fish like sweetfish would be swimming in it.
Sweetfish are freshwater fish, so a sweetfish river would be a freshwater river. Isn't that how we get Danshui River? Ha 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 ha. Quite the word game. Now that's an interesting theory. Let's advance our reasoning a bit further. As you travel down the river, you will see a village. What's the name of the town at the mouth of Danshui River?
I forget the river was actually a river. I thought there was a road. It says Danshui here.
I went sightseeing in Danshui. It was a calm and gentle harbor town. Beautiful sunsets. Did you find the shore that will tell you of? Not really. It doesn't ring any bells. I guess the beloved hometown wasn't in Taiwan. It might have been Odawara after all. If we can't discount any possibilities, then we won't get anywhere. We can't even get past the first line of the epitaph.
Quiet, you're distracting me. It has to be Taiwan. Father wouldn't describe any other place as beloved. That is one thing we can agree upon. To this very day, Taiwan is the homeland of Father's heart.
It's probably best if we don't spend too much time on the first line. I'm going to take a look at the others. Just a quick peek, starting at the first twilight.
Me too. I'll leave the Sweetfish River to you, sis, and have a go at the second half.
On the first twilight, offer the 6 chosen by the key as sacrifices. How mysterious.
I've got it. Eva suddenly muttered. I knew it would be Eva, too. I figured. I've got it. Who else would have solved it? All of the others spun around to look at her. Eva was flipping through the pages about Taiwan with incredible force, then found the page she was looking for and slammed the book open so hard that it almost tore. This whole time, the book had been open to the page with place names. As far as the overall mass of information went, this seemed the most useful page to start from. However, the page Eva opened to was very limited in the scope of its information. It was a map of railway lines. As you travel down the river, there's a village. A village? There it is, the village. Okay, it was the railway line. I'm stupid.
What are you talking about, Eva? Explain yourself.
Quiet! There's a shore too, and a mouth. I'm not sure what it means by the two, but there definitely is a village and a shore and a mouth. This has to be it. This is definitely the village where the key to the gold sleeps.
Calm down. Explain it so we can understand too.
The Danshui line? I see. So the Sweetfish River was actually a railroad called the Danshui line. Well, I doubt there were any sweetfish swimming there.
I don't mean shit.
Look! If we follow the Danshui line down, there's a station that used to be known as Kirigan. Look at the characters it's written in. There's a village, a mouth, and a shore.
She's right. There's a village, mouth, and shore.
As you travel down the river, you will see a village.
Wait, that's probably Kirei.
As you travel down the river, you'll see a village. True, that's the only station on the Danshui line that has the character for village in its name.
I see. It's like a code pointing towards the station's name.
This has to be it. There's no doubt. We just need to look a bit further, and we'll definitely find out what the two who speak means. Look! This is it! This is it! The region around the station has the same name, except with a mouth in the second character. That makes a total of 2 mouths in Kirigan. Are those the two who speak? Incredible, Eva. This has to be it. Does this mean that the key is hidden somewhere in this town of Kirigan? I wonder. The whole riddle so far has been a word game. If so, isn't it likely that the sweeping key is also a word game? I agree. On the first twilight, the key selects 6 sacrifices, right? So it's hard to imagine that it's actually something key-shaped.
Woo. This is getting damn interesting.
Offer up the 6 chosen by the key. Let's think of a key that's somehow related to this. And let's break down this name. Kirigan. I'm absolutely sure that this is a word game. It has to be. Think, everyone.
So you somehow have to get Kilian out of it.
Rose garden?
That's interesting. Though this rain would get me down if I were alone. It feels nice and cool when you're by my side. It's about time for us to head back. I'm keeping Cannon waiting.
Ignore that sound.
You're right. And I've probably kept Jessica and Battler waiting. Brings back good memories. Remember when the four of us used to play together? It was a lot of fun back then, too. To me, it's a lot more fun now. Because I get you all to myself. Oh, George.
Oh, George. They laughed at George's melodramatic line. However, George's laugh seemed just slightly forced.
George? Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I guess I still have a bit of an inferiority complex when it comes to Battler. An inferiority complex?
Like Uncle Rudolph, he's lively, interesting, and just full of energy. He's much more attractive than I am. I can tell how much he outshines me when we're together.
That's not true. You're very accomplished and attractive. You aren't worse than Battler in any way.
Really?
Yes, really.
The truth is, when I first heard that Battler would be coming back this year, I wasn't happy about it.
Why not?
6 years ago, Battler was the only one who was really close to you. I wanted to get closer to you, but I just couldn't manage to get between the two of you. You two just looked so good together that I could do nothing but watch on longingly.
Is that how it was? Wasn't just Battler making fun of me one-sidedly?
Of course you looked incredibly good together. There's no doubt about that. I'm sure that you two were going out.
That never happened. You're overthinking it.
I really am pathetic. I was afraid that when I handed you this ring today, you'd refuse.
Why is that? Why should I refuse your ring, George?
Because Battler came back. I was afraid that you might like Battler even now. And that, now that he's here, you wouldn't have any use for me.
George, please, look at this. You see the silver go into my ring finger? What do you think that is?
You're right. Sorry. What's gotten me so shaken, I wonder? Probably still jealous of him. Now he's gotten even cooler these past 6 years. How pathetic.
No, it's okay. Those feelings are a sign that your love for me is so strong, you don't want to give me up to anyone. If you're worried about my feelings switching to Battler, just love me all the stronger so that such a thing would be unthinkable. Love me so much that I don't even have time to think about other men. I'm scared too. I'm sure you'll meet many women in the future who are much more attractive than me. Or you might tire of me when I don't match up to your expectations. It scares me to think that I might not be able to grasp hold of your feelings for the rest of my life.
There's no need for you to be scared of that. I swear to love you all my life.
But even though I swore the same thing, you're having trouble believing it just because Battler came back.
As Shannon giggled, George finally realized that his own lack of confidence had hurt her.
I've fallen for a wonderful man named Ushiromiya George. And this is a man who has sworn to love me all his life, and who has given me a ring as a sign of this oath. With this ring here on my ring finger, I can give an honest confession.
Sure.
Yes, as you said, I did like Battler 6 years ago. I think I probably liked him more than you. However, that was 6 years ago. Now, things are different. In these 6 years, I've sorted out my feelings for Battler, and cut myself off from them along with the memories of the past. Now, I exist only to love you.
Shannon spoke clearly and strongly. George gave a single, uncertain laugh. It was probably the same sort of laugh that George of 6 years ago had made. Then he stretched resolutely and hugged Shannon without saying a word. In that moment, he said goodbye to the person he had been 6 years ago. Wait, excuse? You're doing this even in the tea party? Really? I didn't expect that. That makes it much easier to know when to stop. I didn't expect that. Fucking... Okay, now they're at the chapel and Hideyoshi has a ladder. Should I just continue? Or should I stop? Because honestly, last time I sat here and recorded for 3 hours straight was... I don't remember when. I think that was the trial section of Chapter 5. And that took a while. And I was, like, burnt out by the end of it. I'd rather not sit here for a few hours, honestly. Well, I guess in that case, since the game was kind enough to give me a stopping point, that's gonna be it for this episode, guys. If you liked it, be sure to press the like button, and if you didn't like it, then fuck you too. Remember to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all my videos and stuff. And as always, my name is Godzi, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye!